what really is good taste, right? If I work with someone and I say, hey, we should make an electronic song, and someone else says, oh, we should make an orchestral song, like who's right? You know, it's a taste question. And these things can't really be explained rationally in many ways. It's just based on individual taste, and if you want to trust someone else's taste over your own, you know. You can hire as many all-stars and rock stars and geniuses as you want, but the better the relationship is that you have with someone you work with creatively, the better your work will be. If you don't have relationships and trust, then it's just going to be a huge clusterfuck. Challenge to find your meeting room. I never know where the meeting rooms are.
What's up?
Sam, she's gonna work on the Mumu video. She's from London.
Whoa. Yes. Awesome.
Yeah, I'll dig up some of the old sketches. They were early sketches. Do we have any? Do you have some of the video already?
No.
Or
Basically, I mean, basically today was like we got the budget approved a few days ago.
Oh, okay. See, Mumu is a sad zombie who became separated from his zombie parents and never found them again. Cursed with immortality, Mumu lives forever as a weepy child wrapped in what appears to be toilet paper. Small, sad-looking, with puffy eyes, slow and smelly but surprisingly strong, always looks sad and dejected, small body, big head.
Okay, so that was like 2008, or when was that?
2000, yeah, maybe 2007 even.
Oh wow, 2 years before the game even came out?
Yeah, it's a simple metaphor and it's gone a long way. He's getting his own music video now.
It kind of just happened.
Yeah, and I think he's a good vessel for it. Like I said, he's maybe just stories that are told, you know. Maybe all over Runeterra, and you're right, like he's a good canvas for a boy in any nation, you know, so he could be from Demacia or Freljordian.
Mumu for sure is the most expensive thing that we've done as a music team that has no purpose. Literally, there's no business incentive. There's no like promotional campaign tied to it or whatever. The sole purpose is to do something cool for our players, you know? And beautiful. In this video, that's kind of the only thing that we have to nail, which is him as a character, how our players know him, because obviously we wouldn't want to disappoint them.
Yeah, like a Mundian bandit, like our character's still going to be pretty much based on your character. You know, maybe like everything he interacts with is avoiding him. I don't know, does that make sense?
Christian, did that represent it correctly?
And Mumu is such an old character. Players have known the champion for a long time, which means that there's certain expectations. I don't want to disappoint our players, you know. So this was the original.
This was my take on it, you know.
This one creeps me out.
Yeah, the holes in his eyes. He's a nasty little dude.
Yeah, Mumu is Mumu. Like we can't really change him as a character.
Yeah.
We shouldn't.
Okay.
Cool.
See you guys. Bye, Christian.
See ya.
Bye, guys.
It's like, all right, the contract's signed. We're gonna spend a huge amount of money on this music video, and it has to be the best music piece you've ever made, but you haven't even written anything yet.
Can you tell us kind of what the status of the music is? The music already recorded? Is it written?
There's no music right now. No music. It's all in my head. It's music, so you can't predict how it ends up. So it's just like, I have to actually figure it out now, you know? And we'll see. I mean, yeah, we'll see. I don't know yet.
I feel like he's a complex situation for our game and our world, because people are like, well, how does he fit in and this and that? Mm-hmm. But like, I feel like he's a metaphor per se, you know, that he fits anywhere, you know? There's so much to be done with this character.
Mumu is an exploration. You know, I don't know if it will be successful. The music team at Riot Games started back in the day just with me kind of noodling around on login screen music tracks. On our music team we have Alex Temple, who's a composer, Sebastian Agent, also composer, Mike Berry, also composer, me, also composer. Dan,
I might be stretching my knowledge on the subject just because I haven't been here that long. I've only been here 2 months, so.
That's fine. Be as liberal and as uncensored as humanly possible.
we all have different strengths on our team. Alex Temple, for example, phenomenal in the traditional sense. Young, handsome composer. That was kind of weird.
First CD I ever bought was, well, I didn't buy it, but it was Beethoven's Fifth Symphony. My dad gave it to me. I was 5, I think. And my parents had to have a rule that I was only allowed to listen to 1 hour of music a day, because apparently I was trying to listen to too much.
Sebastian has a really good idea for how to weave electronic music into orchestral pieces. I actually used to work for Hans Zimmer's team.
The first album I bought was the soundtrack for The Rock by Hans Zimmer. I was 10 when I got really interested in film music, and I started actually using computers to make music when I was about 11.
Mike Berry, a very, very classically trained classical pianist, and really good opinions.
I like being around people who are really good at things and feel like they're not, because they're always trying to get better. My first love in music before classical was rap. Going back like the Dre and stuff. Those are the first CDs I got taken away as a child.
Dan also is a composer, pretty fresh on the team, and helps us with a lot of production aspects.
I'm not sure exactly how, but ended up with this video on my computer right now, and so I'm writing music for it. I mean, since I'm new, my schedule was a little more open, so I said, I've got some time, I can work on that.
It kind of started with me, but I am probably the worst out of all of our composers, as a composer in the traditional sense. But at the same time, I probably know our game and our players best. We have Perlman, Tchaikovsky, I don't know what the hell that is. Dvorak, Nat King Cole, Led Zeppelin #3, Led Zeppelin #2, Frank, obviously.
One of the core ideas of League of Legends is you have these unlikely champions coming from all different realms and genres and times and inspirations, and they kind of come together in a really cohesive manner. And that to me is the most interesting thing about League, and also about the way that we approach music.
If you know your strengths, but even more important, your limitations, then you can really work well together as a team. If you have a very sober way of thinking about your team, I think you can achieve things that are way greater than yourself.
We're all rolling? All good? Yes. Cool.
I keep finding myself worrying about what your piece, what your piece is, and making sure I'm giving you the right stuff.
It's Brandon. Don't worry about the cameras. Just tell us what you know.
Right.
So this is Pan, one of our crazy artists.
Hi, how's it going?
And he's working on the Pentakill art piece.
No one has seen this, or no?
No, this is. I mean, he's still working on it. Can you give Sona a mustache?
Yeah, for sure. A little Chinese style.
I like a curly one.
Oh, it's for rat hair. The great mustache. Yay!
Well, it looks it's actually pretty legit now. Heavy metal.
Heavy metal, yeah. Oh, I didn't make different layer.
Uh-oh.
I can't get rid of it.
Oh no!
Pentakill originated as this sort of alternate reality where certain characters in the game played in a band together. And that was enough for a while. And then years later, the music team had this notion of, sure, why not? Why not have those guys play in a band? Why not bring that band together and drop an EP?
That note especially. That one. That's always a little. No, it's always a little flat.
Well, when we recorded this, like, the original idea that was so open, you know what I mean? It was like, well...
First half, you're obviously way behind.
You know what? Come out of here. Stopping me in my motion.
I think the second half you can actually be a little more on the quarter notes, kind of grooving. Because right now you're rushing, but just over time.
Too much shred, man.
I personally felt like it was gonna start as a joke, but it's sort of taken a life of its own. The quality and the craft that's going into that EP is actually really mind-blowing.
Danny Lohner is a musician. He used to be part of Nine Inch Nails and The Perfect Circle and some really cool alternative industrial stuff. So we're working with him on one song for the Pentakill album.
Yikes.
That is creepy.
What's that sword on the wall?
Excalibur. Laid 4 people on stage one day.
Look at this guy.
Flying mouth.
You got that tattoo.
It's like craftsmanship. Like this thing is just like, I mean, just look at this wood. You know, it's like, it's just this complete brutal machine. And all the other ones you can tell are kind of finished in like a.
What's going on up there?
Yeah, let's just noodle around, right?
Korean people are funky.
What's up, Seinfeld? Was the track she's singing on, is that the one they have a character that's a little punk rocker chick?
Jinx? Yeah.
She's fucking hot.
The character?
Yes.
Oh, she looks like your type of girl.
Oh, fuck you! Jinx, is that her name, Jinx?
Yeah, Jinx.
I met the girl who designed her when I went.
Oh, Katie. Oh, Katie, yeah.
Cool chick.
I made her sound effects.
For that?
Yeah, for that character, yeah.
Oh, right.
Along with this dude.
Cute though, that little character.
You want to play Christian Trinity? You want to play?
I don't care, you can play, you're a better player. We are right now here in Danny Lohner's house. And we're just messing around with all sorts of sounds and ideas, and we'll probably record some stuff with Jason.
That's literally it. Like no preconceived idea, just like do some heavy, riffy kind of shit that I can fuck with.
The most rewarding thing about working at Riot is the collaboration aspect. If you don't feel that magic, then you're really not doing it right. That's kind of what we're all here for.
You're fine, I'm gonna put the riff on so you guys can play to.
We started pretty much like every other video game, just with orchestral music, which is awesome. I mean, it's my favorite music. But if you now want to do something with character and that's like iconic, you have to cross borders. You have to fuse things that might not work out on the paper. You know, now we're at a point where we can work with maniacs like Danny, and
you could do
guitar-wise.
remixes of that one too.
Huh?
You could put out like Pentakill or whatever. Release a lot of the League of Legends music. You know what I mean? Like the orchestral stuff.
No, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna make a soundtrack, like the first volume, basically.
What makes it interesting too is that we could do the Pentakill remix or whatever.
Whatever's cool.
Even the fucking Crystal Method stuff.
Basically, we are starting to work on the Amumu music video, and obviously that also needs a music piece. We talked about it for months and months, but it took a while for me to actually start to work on it. I'm fucking rusty, but anyway. I never felt like I actually have the right idea what it should feel like. I wrote some lyrics basically that I had just some very bare bones stuff. So for example, I recorded basically some piano part that kind of felt like it would hit the right tone. Shit, my pedal's loose. I gotta do that again. Fuck just happened? God damn it, fucking pedal. Oh. So there's that.
I always wonder how many of our players know that Christian used to be in a German like rock band, and that you can go online and Google his name and literally find drawings that 12-year-old girls did in notebooks. Because we knew him for a couple of years before that fact came out, and it was almost like he had been living this weird double life that he didn't want us to know about. It's like amazing like composer, and then there's like the teenage heartthrob Christian that has little hearts drawn around him.
Christian started at Riot Games in player support, answering billing issues for German players. And he joined Riot because he's a big gamer, right? And he loved League of Legends, but he never talked about his past in a cool band. And then ultimately, the company started to figure out that Christian's got all this musical talent, and we didn't really have a music department at the time. So gradually, Christian started composing, and over time, that evolved into us taking a lot of musical risks.
For me, this is a very interactive, collaborative world. We're just given blank pages, and we just have to translate that into music.
Every bar, every decision that's made needs to be based on what works for that character and what does that character feel like.
It's you with this piece of music. You really want it to sound like something that you'd enjoy listening to and that someone else might share the same experience with.
We're all gamers. We're all nerds, you know?
So what's leading the album? Demacia? It's gonna be the first track?
Yeah. I think it works really well.
It works better than Nami?
Yeah. I think Nami should be the second one. So it's like diversity, you know? Now we have 7 songs done.
Everybody should listen to the masters on there.
Yeah, alright, let's take a listen.
That was good. Do you guys like that better than the booth?
I think the second violins are a little flat.
And Mike, we had one note that from about 45 on, the choir gets pretty big, so we can probably have them play out a little bit more.
All right.
Today we're recording 6 pieces of the soundtrack here at the Sony scoring stage. A lot of people. A lot of people. Sir, I didn't know you were going to be here.
Good to see you.
Good to see you, sir.
You doing okay?
Yeah, I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm excellent.
Christian?
Sir?
Nice to see you.
Hey, Mark.
Noah?
Good to see you.
Good to see you too. What's happening?
Well, the usual. Hey, good to see you.
Good to see you too.
Back we are.
Back we are. So are we doing Nami again today?
Getting some sleep?
Yeah, I slept like 7 hours last night.
My God.
That hasn't happened.
That's like
forever.
sleeping gluttony.
I know, right?
So right now we basically have the best you can get on every instrument. So all the guys that play in all the movies are here.
We could spend a lot of money during the recording session, get all these instruments, and they make a big ruckus. But if the vibe isn't right, then we've failed in our job.
Why I like our game as a player is because it is so diverse. The champions in our game are all very different. They all have a very different background. Every piece has to be like its little sub-universe.
And it doesn't just associate with characters. With Demacia, we had a lot of things going for us just by looking at the map. It's a noble world. Hopefully the music paints a picture of the lifestyle of being a being from a noble culture and spreading justice around the world.
This is going to be like the signature chart for the next series of music, hopefully. All right, let's go for a take. Here's bar 1. For 1, 2.
Okie dokie.
What do you think, Barry?
Nice having
I think it's okay. Alex, what do you think?
I really like the way it sounds when it's down an octave, but I wonder how it's going to sound when we add the choir that's a bit above it.
They can also come in a little stronger at 29 and not too, not...
All right, let's hear more of the moving people, meaning the cellos and the violins too.
Yep. Let's gather over there. You ready?
Yep.
We have a recording session tomorrow night with Mark, who's a violinist, and Cameron, who's a cellist, really great player. So we have to arrange the piece. And for that, I just need more brain than just mine to figure it out, I mean, the Jinx music video was the first music video that we created. The logical consequence of a really successful project like that is obviously let's do more.
Going from the Jinx music video to the Amumu music video probably is the least sensical thing that the music team could have done. It was going from this huge bombastic explosions everywhere psychotic character to this really intimate story about one of our older, less realized characters.
These guys are on the forefront of what Amumu is going to evolve into. They're running with a character. Music is actually leading the way. The storytelling possibilities are really difficult because what defines Amumu?
When Jinx came out, it had that purpose of showing everyone in the world who Jinx was and hopefully stirring up a lot of excitement for the new champion.
And Amumu really, there's no release for him coming up. There isn't really any good reason to do anything for him, really. But
he could have picked a bunch of different characters to sort of pursue this effort on. He picked Amumu because he loves Amumu.
It's really just something that's born out of passion and by the understanding that whatever we're going to do for Amumu has the potential to be beautiful. The thing is, what I want to do right now, I want to take it away from just being a pop song. Right now, it's pretty, but it's too standard. It's it's very. It's not the most progressive verse, I think it's more a passion to go out there and and figure out new things, to kind of break rules. So I guess the idea would be that it kind of starts out piano, and then
if you're trying to create something authentic, I think that you need to be understanding why you're making those decisions and not just sort of shooting it, into the darkness.
Then piano reduced with voice. Then the pretty piano again with a violin on top. Then the second verse, I think, where drums come in. There's just more resonance. Maybe. Yeah, that works the best.
Sometimes we're not sure what style we want to do something, what kind of music we want to do for something specific, so we'll try different things and see what's best for what we're trying to achieve.
Maybe like a cello in the background to just give it a little more volume.
What did you have in mind for the singing part right here?
Like kind of drastic moving around, conscious, obviously.
I feel like there is always something that you can hone in on and sort of really make your own, whether it's in the production or just the actual musical notes.
What do you go, minor or major?
Major would be really cool if you're going to a D major chord after that.
Oh, that might work.
You're personally invested in it. This is your statement of how you think things should sound.
Hey Adam. Yeah. Can I fuck anything up on this thing here? No, right?
No, we're not using any of that, so you're good to go.
So we can even like,
if you feel like it, sure.
Who are you saying is a big deal?
Randy Kerber is a big deal.
The pianist.
The pianist.
Why do you say that?
Oh, he's played on just about every John Williams score in the last, I don't know, 25 years or so, and he's the Harry Potter Celeste, the very famous theme for that. He's the shit.
This is supposed to sound a little weird, like the Shago character is being introduced at this point. You all know I'm a mediocre conductor, but I'm gonna try and go for the free time situation because we've had good musical results with that.
It's definitely not some quick slap together thing. I mean, when it goes out the door and to the fans, like that's the end, you know, that's where it ends and it needs to be great.
It's not just the game itself, but the whole culture around the game, I think, is in that soundtrack.
With the soundtrack, we've been throwing an awesome softball from the guys upstairs, and they're like, well, just explore musically and see what happens.
When you're working on movies or TV, you know, most of the time you're just doing it the way that'll get it done the fastest.
Let's do it again. We're gonna do something different at 71. Right. Cool. Okay, let's do one.
Exploring ideas and seeing where they go and having the freedom to do that is something that's pretty rare, I think.
Part of our role is to create an environment where it's safe to have crazy ideas.
If it's a conducting disaster or the time starts shifting and they notice the booth will go to close.
Your speech is always so hopeful.
Yeah, I mean, I put some parts in there that I figured would be absolutely impossible to play, and
This might suck.
we'll just, you know, give it to him and see what he does.
The biggest risk is not to take risk, because then it just funnels you to sound exactly as everybody would expect it to sound.
So let's just try and make a take. Off we go. And 0, 2,
when I got the music, and I started my metronome at like 92, and the metronome marking is like 140 essentially. And the first day that I practiced it, I could only get it up to like 117. So like that night I was all depressed, and then the next day I'm like, okay, I'll try again, and I could only get it up to like 127. It was literally like, it took me like 4 days just to get it to the tempo, and then the whole rest of the time was like trying to play it at that tempo without it sounding like I was like about to fall over.
If you're not failing, you're not trying hard enough, right?
The vibe is what matters more than anything. We gotta go and capture the vibe. It's sort of an association. Does the character make sense with the art, with the lore, and with the music? This is all one package. And if it does, then we've all done our job. And if it doesn't, we can improve on it.
This soundtrack adds this really cool breadth to our world, a breadth of personalities and a breadth of places where all these characters are from. It's gonna be all those worlds collided into one soundtrack that we can listen to over and over again and then almost wonder like, my God, what could possibly be next?
Here's a little bit of Nami's theme on the piano.
I think there are some definite coincidences between what cues are on the soundtrack and like what our favorite characters are in general. I kind of pushed the agenda on Nami because I just love her as a character. And then here comes the flute. And the piano answers. We came to Quinn and was like, yeah, that's a pretty nice theme. I think we can do some damage with that. And then I was like, we're doing Nami because I just love, I don't know, I just love Nami. I think she's a well thought out character for people who enjoy the game like I do, who aren't frantic clickers, but I like to anticipate things in their style of playing.
I've been here for about 2.5 years now. I myself have been playing League of Legends for the last 4 years. When I look back, I sort of have these really great memories of certain champions that came out and that has resonated really well with me. And I think for many of our players, when they hear the Nami soundtrack, when they hear that soundtrack, it's gonna take them back to that moment when they come home from work or from school, they click open the game and the screen comes up and you see a new champion and it's a mermaid. You're like, whoa, it's a mermaid, and you hear this right? It takes you back to those worlds. It takes you back to those memories.
Like when I used to play Warcraft 3 when I was younger, like 10 years ago or so, I always listened to certain music, and when I listen to that music nowadays, like it pulls me back into this, like it is like this crazy feeling, really happy feeling.
I love the Final Fantasy 3 music. Yeah, it's fantastic. Like when that sting comes on, like when the like it just brings me back into like victory in battle, right?
Our direction to Miranda Kermer, the wonderful pianist who played this, was to do some interesting piano wanderings. That's what I have it exactly notated as. And he naturally did a bunch of this stuff. And he's doing the wave motion. And later on, do I figure out, oh yeah, well that's a wave motion and she's the character from the ocean. So this kind of thinking, when you're so familiar with a character, it just comes naturally, which is the cool thing about working on somebody that you game on.
You know, I always dread when I start these projects. I always dread the process of actually putting everything together because I'm like always a little bit afraid of it because like the concept often is so strong, and then the only thing that can fail is yourself in the execution. You know.
There's that other section, right? The really sad one at some point with those different chords. Yeah, that.
Yeah. Fuck. There's gonna be this one moment where Mumu kind of, you know, has this huge tantrum. The visual, how I see it in the visual, he has to be like happy, you know. He ventures out and goes through the lands, but he doesn't understand yet. He doesn't know. He looks at flowers and they're beautiful and everything is great, and he has like hope. Oh, I'll find friends, you know. But in the music, it has to be a complete, really hard contrast of, no, he will not. He realizes he's always gonna be alone. And that he's cursed. That he will never find a friend. You know, that's when he has his tantrum. Musically, it has to be the same feel, but it has to be amplified by like 1,000,000 times.
Now, are you imagining it to be big and sort of like kind of broad sounding, or more big and kind of like a strident, aggressive sound?
In 5 hours or so, we'll have to have those figured out. It needs something where we go, now he knows, fuck, you know? No, that's shitty. At Riot, we always say that we built the plane mid-air. We had no choice but to get it rolling because the game grew so much that you had to react to you know, what our players would like to see, and like, and you can't just say, nope, sorry, we'll just leave the game small, you know? It has to be powerful and like, yeah. I don't know.
So, yeah, kind of give me just real quick overview, kind of sum it up if you can.
Jesus.
What do you think you were looking for?
Yeah.
What's the name of it?
Cameron.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and then just trail out. Yep. Yeah, stuff like that, I think.
Yeah, we'll do some takes like that too, where we're just screwing around.
Yeah.
Screwing around is really not the right word. Playing around.
Do magical
Let's
things.
say playing around.
This goes from 1714. This studio doesn't sound half bad.
spacey, it could be cool to do something really, you know.
And that's not
realistic.
written out yet, right?
No, this would just be whatever we want to do.
Okay.
You need the right kind of people, you know. Like we all have the same goal. There's no ego involved. Also with the musicians, you know, all they want to do is create awesome music.
But I'm kind of eager to see what he does in that violent section at the end.
Yeah. There's so many people that care about this character very much, and there's so many elements to a movie that matter. You can't just, you know, wing it. You can't just like write something really quick and then it's done. You have to figure it out. And these things are just not very easy to get, you know, because they can just fuck up.
All right, guys, we're gonna start recording in a moment, so here we go.
Let's do it.
So, high-low of the night, anyone can answer. Like, kind of lowest point, highest point.
Have him try something else. You can throw that away. Just take 10. Okay, 13. Lucky 13. Let's keep that and go to 14. Lucky 14.
14.
Yeah. I feel like we have, like, between all those takes, we definitely have it, unless you want to do one more run. Otherwise, we can move on to the last two bars.
Just one more time, I'd say.
Do you think we have it? I think we have it too.
We can mess around with the click.
Okay. Let's do another one.
All right.
Here we go. 45. Take 48, come on. 52. Just take 55. Take 56. What's the first one?
1 second.
He can take this in a lot of different directions. I mean, stylistically.
One more time.
Take 62. Oh, you can throw that away. Too much movement?
In the first half.
Yeah, in the first half, a little too much movement, I guess.
Take 79.
Can we do everything except the last two parts?
I'm not a violinist, but that doesn't seem right. Should I write this note or should I not write this note? Should this note be an octave higher or should it be loud? Should it be quiet? If the goal is to create something new, then that's, you know, basically anything's fair game at that point. You're shooting into the darkness.
Take 82.
And thank you one more time, please.
Yeah, you're still running a little bit?
You mean rushing?
Yeah.
The attention that's paid on some of the songs, some of the tracks, we get obsessed over a little thing in a song that needs to be right, and we just keep going. We just keep going and keep going.
You want me to do one more?
Yeah.
Just take 93 coming in.
Fuck. It's a beautiful piece and it's a beautiful piano melody, but there is something wrong about it.
What do you want to do next?
Alex?
I think we should,
We're kind of running out of time.
let's move to the high glassy harmonics. Or unless you think that the aggressive stuff is more important.
So where do you want to go?
1 second. We're still sorting it out.
You know, let's do the aggressive stuff. So starting at 103.
That's when he has his tantrum. And so that moment's gonna be tricky.
Where is that?
It's, do you have it in front of you?
It's 105. Where
Musically, it has to be the same feel, but it has to be amplified by like 1,000,000 times. No, it should.
Or was that gonna? It needs to start right on.
It has
Okay.
to, you know, like now he knows. Fuck.
Dig in.
Yeah.
Dig in. Right.
On the when you come in on the 105, can you come in like already on like a bold double stop?
Yeah.
Trust is everything. If that trust isn't there, then it's just gonna be a huge clusterfuck.
49. Here it is. Yeah.
These pieces are often not the pieces where someone sits down and plans it out, but it's just like it just comes streaming out of your heart. I remember when I said last time we recorded that he's the only guy that I ever heard that has...
You can't go out and actively learn how to love something. It kind of chooses you and then you exist in its little world.
Isn't it like, let me try something and it sounds dumb?
We're all kind of together working on something here, and that's kind of like the most rewarding part. As cliche as it sounds, the team at the end of the day is like what wins the game.
that even possible? How is that even possible? Sebastian, you have a low point?
The point was not having more time to record.
Fuck, man. Do you have a low point? I think you always question your own music when you have kind of people like that in the room. I have to change my song now. I have to change my song.
Man,
fuck.
That's great, guys.
Can we mark that as the golden take of ever?
Yeah, 75.
If you have that trust in the relationships to where people are able to join these visions, you know? There's always 50 different ways to do it, you know? But it has to be a cohesive one direction where everything comes together and wants to achieve the same thing. And if you can achieve that, then the potential for your work is limitless.
I wouldn't overdo it with the violin either, because I think that the cello has a lot to say. That's not your usual session where it's just like, hey, read this. That was more like, hey, play like this.
Play like weird shit.
Play emotionally.
Dude, that's cool. It's beautiful, man.
It's emotional.
Yeah. Very
It
emotional.
dials it in a little bit with kind of what a mumu is going through.
Yeah. The tantrum. It's literally like a tantrum on the cello and like a tantrum on the violin.
Yeah.
Literally just like uncontrolled cello. I think I said it before, but if we create something that strikes this one certain note that reaches the you know, the people that love Amumu and can kind of relate to how he is, to create this one connection that even no one else will understand, you know? If like 98% of the players don't get it, but the 2% that are totally ingrained with what Amumu is, totally get it, that's perfect, right?
Yeah.